What's up, manga heads? It's me, Darfox again, and I am once again joined by Amber. And this time we're here to talk about Go With The Clouds, North by Northwest by Aki Ire?
I think so.
Aki Ire. Aki Ire might be better known for their other series, Ran in the Grey Road.
World.
Yeah, what did I say?
Road.
I meant to say world, so I'm just...
I'm already correcting you.
I'm just
sorry.
So, I haven't read that series, so I actually don't know about it. I guess we're the B team because we like their other series, their Weird Icelandic series. That's sometimes more travel guide than it is manga, but still great. Go With The Clouds, North by Northwest. It's kind of I guess you could call it a mystery detective series with a lot of slice of life elements, and the slice of life elements just bleed right into just tourism propaganda for Iceland.
But there is also a small amount of supernaturalness to it as
yes,
well.
and we're going to talk a little bit about it now, and then later on in the video we're going to go full spoilers and just talk about like kind of how deep it goes. But the main character series is a boy named Kay, and he's a Japanese. Is he Japanese Icelandic?
Yeah, so I believe he's half Japanese, half Icelandic.
Yeah. Is Jax, is he full Icelandic or is he Japanese?
I think he's full Icelandic.
He doesn't have a Japanese name. His name is Jax.
Yeah, it's just Jock.
Yeah, I say Jax because I'm an uncultured pig, but it's Jock. But you know, it's
yeah, Kei Miyama. Yeah, Kei Miyama.
So
and Jock.
He is living in Iceland primarily as almost like a private detective. People hire him usually for missing person cases, occasionally
investigate their spouse.
Yeah, like typical stuff like that. Interesting thing about Kay. First of all, he's kind of a fun character because he's a little bit terse. He's not super amicable. He's a good guy. Yeah. He's a good guy, but he's not the most friendly person. He gets along best with his car because getting into the supernatural elements, there's so much to this manga. It's weird. There's so much like random elements to this manga.
Yes.
Getting into the supernatural element, Kay can speak to machines.
Yes.
Primarily, his car is almost like his
car is his best friend.
Yeah, it's like his partner in crime. Like, he knows how the car is feeling, whatever. But obviously, if you can speak to machines, it makes it very easy to investigate stuff because he could pick up a cell phone and be like, "What's up, cell phone? Tell me what's going on," and figure out like who
did you call recently?
Yeah, so he literally converse with. And that's kind of like a pretty small part of the series. Like, they don't focus on that a lot.
Not at all.
It just comes up occasionally. It's just part of his character. Yeah. Well, yes, definitely. I would have to say the main part, like the bulk of this series, is just like tourism propaganda for Iceland. Is that how you pronounce it?
Iceland, yeah.
Iceland.
We'll go with that one. It's fine.
I'm baiting you to...
You're trying to get me to correct you, and it's not gonna work.
Okay.
On that one.
So it's very interesting because if you really do not give a damn about Iceland, this manga is gonna bore you to tears, I think.
Yeah.
And it might actually piss you off because sometimes when the plot kicks in, it's actually pretty intriguing. You're like, oh, what's going on? And then when it takes a left turn into tourism, primarily a second volume, right?
Yes.
Second volume is the biggest
culprit. Volume, yes. But when they do get into the deep plot elements, they are also very good at leaving you hanging, like what's going to happen next, and then the volumes don't come out for a really long time. Like, so for example, most recently the 5th volume came out, I think it was back in August of 2021. So the 6th volume hasn't even come out in Japan yet, so it's going to be a long wait before we ever see the 6th volume here.
Yeah, another thing I want to talk about this manga is the presentation. Both of the manga itself, the art is actually probably one of the most beautiful books I've looked at, one of the most beautiful manga I looked at. But even just like the product they're selling, the covers are really nice and they have this really nice textured kind of matte texture, and the back of the manga
I've spent an insane amount of time just like looking at the back of each volume, just like translating or figuring out how to translate all these random Icelandic words, or like guessing what it's actually supposed to be. Like, is this talking about this little pole or this little like lamb here in the background? Like, which one?
My guess is the lamb, because it'd be really funny to put a lamb in the middle of the pole picture,
right? But like getting to like be so interested in Icelandic language from a Japanese book, it just amuses me so much, and I love it.
Yeah.
But the only series I think that really kind of competes for some sort of like landscape art like this to me is for the newer series Witch Hat Atelier that won an Eisner recently. Yes. That is also gorgeous, like this is.
Okay, here's the key difference that I wanted to get into. I'm glad you brought that up, because Witch Hat is positively wholesome.
Yes.
It's a bunch of kids, and it's just a...
Well, there's a sinister element to it.
Yeah, but it's a bunch of kids, and it's just wholesome, and it could warm your heart. This book isn't perverted or anything, or anything like that, but there's definitely a lot of adults in adult situations, and part of the beauty of the book, this mangaka draws people very prettily. Probably one of the most like pretty drawing people, and I'm talking about the girls and the guys. Kei has a little brother who was Michitaka, who is he's kind of like the main mystery of the series, because there's something up with him and you don't know what's going on, and some characters really distrust him. So the way they introduce him, he may be the main villain.
Yeah.
But we don't honestly know. We just know something's up with him.
There's a lot of mysterious happenings whenever he's around.
Yeah, and Kei trusts him implicitly, at least at first.
Yeah.
Because he's his brother, and he will never, like, they're pretty close. They understand each other pretty well.
Well, actually, Michitaka is on the cover of the 5th volume. So.
Yeah, and Michitaka is just like this gorgeous...
blonde Japanese boy.
Yeah.
That's how they describe him.
Yeah, go figure. Just this gorgeous kid, and Jock is dating this Atlantic woman was she an actor? Yeah, was she an actor, or was she like a singer or something?
Some sort of entertainer.
Yeah. She's dropped it gorgeous. She has like a niece or something who's very pretty, and she's
Lilia.
like the main love interest.
They do have Lilia on a cover too, and she is also gorgeous.
Like I mean, most manga try and draw the characters attractive in some form, and a lot of manga is just like very perverted and just draw like big boobs or whatever.
Yeah.
Some manga written by Ichiro Oda just draw like stick figure ladies and big boobs.
I get that joke there, but well, so actually with Lilia and kind of going to the kind of prettiness to the series and how it's drawn, it's actually kind of interesting, and your adult themes. When you first meet Lilia in the first volume, it's in a very adult scene, but she's depicted in kind of like a mystical fairy kind of way. Like, you don't really quite know like if she's truly human or just like this random girl that Kei like came across in the water out in the middle of Iceland landscape or whatever. Very like fairy adjacent.
Yeah, and I guess that we could talk about that. There is a romanticization. Please correct me on this one. Romanticization of like both Iceland, but also of people in a way that I don't know if it's like problematic or not, but like there's seemingly so much love drawn into these characters. It's almost like it's almost obscene. like when they draw these characters, it's almost like they're drawing like it's almost like ritualistic. Like the way these characters are drawn, it kind of mirrors the way they pay so much attention to the details of geography and the cultural stuff in Iceland, and like it's not that different how the book kind of gabs on about how sunny it is when you drive in the morning and you need glasses. It's not that different when it does that, and then when it focuses on a character and it really kind of does a chapter about a character and you're kind of singing that kind of stuff. It's kind of like the same kind of weird like ritualistic or feverish dedication to it.
Yes, I mean it's extremely rich in detail in both the imagery of the landscape and of Iceland, and for each of the characters and their backgrounds.
Yeah, it's an interesting book. Like, it's almost too much sometimes, but the author seems very sincere to me. Like, it seems like they're drawing this because they think it's like really good and really interesting. Yeah. So I think it works because of that. But like, I just sometimes feel like this is like too much. Stop it. This person's too beautiful.
Volume 2 was too much with the little bit of a tour guide-ness, but
yes.
it got
So,
better.
Volume 1 basically ends in a cliffhanger that kind of kicks off the main mystery.
Gets you really like hooked on what this whole thing's gonna be about.
Yeah, and then Volume 2, Kei's friend from Japan, Kiyoshi, who's also beautiful, even though he's supposed to be the frumpy guy.
Yeah, the like nerdy.
He's supposed to be the frumpy, nerdy guy with glasses, but he's still like he's a cutie pie.
Which, you know, he's kind of like Dakuzu is to you. He like sends Kei these like packages from Japan of just all these goodies that Kei misses that he can't get in Iceland.
And just like Dakuzu, he's a cutie pie.
Oh.
Yeah, so he visits Iceland. It's like, hey, what's up? You know, brother, we haven't seen each other so long. Let me show you the town.
Yeah.
Literally the whole volume.
It's just them going to every tourist destination in Iceland there is.
And you're going to learn about the history. You're going to learn about the geography. You're going to learn about how why the soil is the way it is, and why there's no lush vegetation, just grass there, and the kind of farm animals you can keep because of that.
That huge hot spring that's like insanely popular. They go there, like
you're gonna learn about
Blue
this place.
Lagoon, I think that's what it's called.
You're gonna learn about this place, and it was personally a little bit of a struggle for me to get through.
The second one, yeah.
I will admit, my interest waned kind of hard. But I pushed through, and I'm glad I did because, and you know,
it picked up a little bit towards the end of the issue too to like keep you intrigued to get to the next volume.
Yeah,
you just had to get to that part.
The detail and the craft is enough to get me through, and I think it might be enough to get you through. I definitely say try it out, but we wanted to give you this warning. Second volume is a kind of a kick in the teeth. It's kind of like a fuck you. It's like, oh, you interested about this mystery? Guess what?
But it does also seem to be the thinnest volume of the 5.
My exact science says no.
Oh,
it's
3?
thicker than 3.
Okay, I take it back then.
My exact science is squishing
them
together.
5 is definitely the thickest.
Yeah, so 5 is a big boy.
Let's get a hold of some first.
Unless there's something else you want to mention about the structure or something like that, I think we should switch over and talk about spoilers and just kind of we can talk about the series, and because we haven't talked too much together about the series, we kind of mentioned it a little bit.
We haven't really.
So we can actually have a conversation about the spoilers and what's happening right now. So are you fine switching over? All right. Absolutely. Spoilers. That's the L turning sideways. You know, spoilers. Right?
Spoilers.
So turns out Kei's brother is a psychopath.
Yeah.
He's a real bad guy.
Piece of work.
But he might be like a sociopath actually, because he
like has no empathy or emotion whatsoever.
Except for Kei. Like
But even that's kind of warped.
Yes, he's very possessive, right? He doesn't he just doesn't see people the same way. You know, he doesn't have the empathy. He doesn't connect that.
Like other people are just like worthless pawns to him.
Yes.
Or like a house.
and this is where the supernatural element comes in again. Kei's brother also has a superpower and is way more fucked up. It's basically like some sort of telekinesis where they actually don't explain it, they just show it visually. Yeah. So it's interesting. Again, this manga has very good art because I feel like I know exactly what it is, but when I try and explain it, I'm gonna be like, it's like kind of like, but it's like he can telepathically hurt you, like cut your arm off or do something like very invasive to you.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen physically, but you feel it in your head. So there are scenes where he hugs somebody and just tears them apart to pieces.
Yes, just like straight up kills them.
And in the real world, they just collapse. They're just dead. They just die because nothing really happened to them. But it's kind of like the whole Matrix. Your brain thinks it's real.
Yeah.
The brain just shuts off.
So like the main thing, or the main mystery for the story, tends to be just what happened to Michitaka. So Kei Michitaka's parents died, I believe it was, when they were younger, if I remember correctly.
Something, yeah.
And then Kei went to go live with his grandfather Jacques, and Michitaka went to go stay with their aunt and uncle. And then Kei didn't know, but the aunt and uncle mysteriously died, and Michitaka never reached out to Kei, but then eventually like went looking for him or whatever. And that was after he got himself in a bunch of crazy town trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And then police are coming and finding Kei, and they're like, we need to talk to you about your brother, who we think killed some people.
Yeah.
So
and
he's like, he'd never do that.
And before that, the part where you as the reader really kind of learn about Michitaka was there's kind of like a story arc dealing with what do you call it, like a transient home, like there's like this home where a lot of homeless people and kind of like junkies live, and a lot of runaways stay there.
Yeah, they were all fairly like young age though, so kind of like a halfway house, I guess is the word.
But it's not official. It's just like it's people hanging around this derelict building.
People supporting each other in their times of trouble.
And it's not like a bad place. It's actually presented as, like Amber just said, it's presented as kind of like a misfit community taking care of themselves.
Yeah, but like Michitaka, like you said earlier, is very possessive, and so like he attaches to this one girl, and nobody else can be friends with her, and everybody just keeps like, oh, they must have found their way or whatever. Like, no, they're fucking dead. Like,
yeah. There's a lot of great scenes where like, you know, he flips on a dime, right? You know, he
gets that very like stern, serious look all of a sudden, whereas other times he's like bubbly and playing it off like he's freaking Honey Senpai or on High School Club.
That's a reference I don't get, but you out there, Manga land, you get that.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of chilling because you could see the point where he stops caring, where he's like, okay, I actually don't want to deal with you anymore. You know, it's like he puts up with people kind of like being busybodies a little bit. You know, like they try and tell him not to do this or that. Okay, whatever. It's kind of a bother. Yeah. But at a certain point, when they're not worth the effort, he just kills them. So those scenes were really great and really kind of like shocking. Like, oh damn, shit just went down. And I don't believe there were gore in these scenes, but they were very kind of detailedly drawn scenes of people's like bodies getting dismembered and stuff like that. But it's all in the brain, so it's very interesting. It's very well done.
Well, I think it's important that like other people, they never shied away that there were plenty of people that were very concerned about Michitaka's behavior for a long time. But Kei was only hesitant about that for a little bit. He wisened up really quick. And he's like, I don't know about my brother. I'm kind of concerned. I'm going to keep an eye on him really closely now. Yeah,
because Kei's almost the opposite. He's kind of, like I said, he's kind of terse and not super friendly, but he has like a really big heart, and he immediately kind of connects with people. So...
He really connected with Lilia, but
yes, when people he trusts start telling him, be fucking careful about this guy, he instantly believes him, at least to an extent. You know, like at first he doesn't say he believes him, but he's still thinking about it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if you had a kid brother, would you think like that they're automatically going to be a serial killer? Like,
yeah, fucking. No, I'm kidding. So Kei and him are really set up almost like opposites, and it's kind of interesting how Michitaka has almost like the organic telepathy-based power, and Kei has the technology-based power. So they're really kind of like a yin and yang kind of thing. They're really different. They look different.
Well, they definitely made it seem like Michitaka might have killed the aunt and uncle, but I wonder, like, first of all, what happened to their parents? I don't remember, if you remember. Okay. I don't know if they actually said or not, but did Michitaka have a role in that? And then also, completely lost my train of thought. Also something.
Michitaka. What were they saying right before?
I remember. So how did both of them get these powers? Like, how did Kei begin, like, talking to machines and figure out that he could do that and hear them back? And how did Michitaka know he could do this, like, weird kind of kill you from the inside manipulation?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't just figure that out easily one day. Something has to trigger that. And they haven't got into it yet.
I don't know if they ever will. I feel like they might not, because I don't know what did when their babies, toxic waste fell on their mom's wounds, and you know, it's like it might tie into just Ivan, like some weird folkloric thing.
That's true. I could see that happening.
Yeah, that would be most appropriate. Anything else you want to mention about the series?
Not really. I mean, it's, as we've said several times, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I love the little puzzle of figuring out all these Icelandic words on each back cover. And I'm very intrigued by the mystery. I didn't really so much mind the tour guide-ness of Volume 2 to an extent. It was a little drug out, but I'm really enjoying the series. I'm disappointed how long I have to wait till a potential next volume, and I wonder if that's why the 5th one was so much thicker than the other ones, is because, like, there is no 6th one yet, if it's, like, maybe COVID got in the way, or things like that. So. But hopefully the 6th volume does come.
I believe all of the above. Oh yeah, this is definitely one of the series that if there's no conclusion, or at least no further development of the plot, it'd be a huge bummer.
Yeah.
I like having physical books, but I'm okay with digital. We read a lot of digital stuff on Manga Machinations just because it's a lot of times we make last minute plans, and it's a lot easier to order books digitally because it's instant. Yeah. So if we make plans for next week, we don't have to wait for shipping time or go find the book. We could. So while doing the podcast, I've become much more of a digital person, but I like getting physical books, and this is the kind of book that I feel really advocates for having physical copies because
the texture.
The texture, and I mean, they're just nice books. It's nice to have this on the shelf, in my opinion.
Well, as you can see, I'm a very physical book kind of person.
What? No. Yeah, I'm obviously not trying to convince Amber, but I am trying to convince you.
This one is worth the physical.
Yeah, I think it's worth, it's worth it. We've if you made it this far and listened to all the spoilers, you know what's gonna happen, but. There's still a lot of stuff we didn't cover about the characters. We barely talked about Jock and kind of like the cooking and all the stuff about the characters.
They do a lot of cooking, which I like because I love any sort of like manga or anime that cover like food because I'm very into food illustrations.
You and Dagzo. Seamus don't like the when manga is cooking. She was like, oh no,
just cut it.
But it's a good book. It's a great product as far as just like a book you buy and might have on your shelf. So check it out. You'll check it out.
Luna. She's like, what? Why are you carrying me like this? What are you doing, Luna? She would absolutely stay here and be obnoxious the entire video.
Come here. Ignore both of us.
Luna!
Alright.
She wants to be cradled when you pick her up.
Or like a baby?
Yeah.
Oh, easy peasy.
There you go. It's okay.
Okay.
Come here. Okay, go away. Robert, take your cat.
Alright, you can leave him.
Feed it. Luna. You want to go with the clouds north by northwest? Yeah.
Oh, this cat. Why is this cat so tiny though?
So tiny.
The cat's big and fat.
Not as good as the apple.
He got a bite out of it. My ass is sticking to your chair. I don't know what's going on.
I'm sorry.
The chair does
Do
this
you
all
want
the
a
time.
cushion? We have cushions.
No, it's fine. It's not my. It's my
cushion.
pants. My pants. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
We have a cushion in the closet.
No, it's fine. I'll survive. You see? What is that?
You're just stuck.